Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF, Power or Might. I, Jonathan Coachman, with Mike today, and with Wade Barrett, and today on NXT, we're gonna hear today on Power or Might. We're gonna hear who the new main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering is going to be. And now we have the four-setter and head leadership wicker, the toy wrestling gathering astronomer. All right, everyone. It's time to know who I'm going to name to have to be the new main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering. You see, Feeder Long has been taken out. And who knows what shape he's going to be when he comes back. So I'm going to have to name a new main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering. And sometimes in the past, you have to go with folks that you maybe know can do it. You have to go with someone who you know can make those hard calls. You have to go with someone that you can truly trust at the end of the day. And to tell you the truth, there really isn't too many folks out there, that you can say that I trust. So right now, I'm going to have to name Autolycus, the new main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering. Ha ha! Well, thank you, Astronomer, for naming me as the new main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering. You're welcome. And alright, folks, I know the toy wrestling gathering has gone through many first wickers. They've gone through many matchmakers over the years, and each one of them has come and gone. But the way I look at it is that that's great for me. So here's what I'm going to do today. Since we truly don't know who's going to be fighting Cody Rhodes for the TWF heavyweight winnings, I'm thinking about that we have to do it this way. Alright. Since The Rock is the man who was with Sonya Deville, and he was the one who worked for Sonya Deville to take Theodore Long out, well, The Rock will be handicapped here today. He will be in a handicap match. We will see The Rock take on two folks who I truly think will do very well. Two folks who I truly think will give it to him. The Rock likes to think that he's unbeatable or unstoppable. But as we know, no man is unbeatable and unstoppable. So I'm going to put The Rock in the ring with someone who, does all that. So Rock, I want to see how you're going to deal with you being handicapped. And I know, Rock, you're going to somehow seek to get out of it. You're going to somehow say you're too busy, that you can't, you're too busy. You can't, be irked, to show up and do all that shit. So, Rock, what I'm going to do to you is I'm going to put you in the ring. You're going to be fighting Shrek. But not only Shrek, because I know that there's someone else out here. Someone else who I know I would like to get my hands on. Someone else out there. Who would like to, get even on you. So, alright, Rock. You're going to take on Shrek. And it's gonna happen, like, right... Whoa! Oh, I'm sorry, Autolycus. Forgive me. Shrek, what did you do that for? When I heard I was going to be fighting a rock, I couldn't help myself. And then you know what I did? I came in the ring, and by mistake, I tripped over you. But you know the Rock's not going to go for that. You know he's not going to go for that. Well, he's going to have to go for that. You know. So, he's going to have to go for that. And if he doesn't like that, that's like, you know, too bad. But then I'm thinking to myself, Shrek, who would be the one that could teach him something? You know? Well, I thought it was going to be me, Shrek says. Yeah. But then I think of it, and I'm thinking, who is going to be the one who can put him in his stead? You know, like, who is the one that can do that? And that's where I'm running into a bind here. Because I don't know anyone else that can do that. Well, you don't know anyone else that can do that? Shrek says. Yeah, that's the thing. I want him to be in a handicap match, but I'm having a hard time, Shrek, coming up with whoever else that can be. Well, maybe I can help you with that. Well, that's going to be hard. Yeah, that's going to be hard to come up with someone, you know, who can do that. Well, Shrek said, you let me fight him. Alright. So then you can fight the Rock then. Well, I know it took some time, but Autolycus, the new main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering, he had to come up with someone, you know, for someone for the Rock to fight. Here it is. Seamus O'Shaughnessy. Well, here comes The Rock now, Jonathan Coachman says, and he's not going to be happy. No, The Rock is never happy, Mike today said, not unless he's making someone's life retro. First off, The Rock learned about it. Oh, so, Autolycus is the new main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering, and he put me in a ring with you, Shrek, and also with Seamus O'Shaughnessy. Does he truly think this handicap's gonna work? Well, he believes it will work. And come on, let's do this now. Ding ding ding. Well, the fight got started. And now, The Rock going after Shrek. Seamus O'Shaughnessy just booted down The Rock, Jonathan Coachman says. Yes, he did, Mike today says, And now The Rock is in a bind now. Here comes White Loudness. And we haven't seen Sheamus O'Shaughnessy in some time. At least here in the Toy Wrestling Gathering. Well, Wade Barrett said Sheamus O'Shaughnessy is a three-time WWE heavyweight fighter, a one-time World Heavyweight fighter, a three-time WWE 4-1 Rights fighter, a four-time World Tag Team fighter. You know, he's already done that. And trapped down on The Rock. But I still think it's unfair that Autolycus is making The Rock fight Shrek and Sheamus O'Shaughnessy. Well, it should be fair. You know, it was The Rock and Sonya Deville that, put Theodore Long out, Jonathan Coachman says. Brogue kick. And down goes The Rock, Jonathan Coachman says. Well, Mike today says it is a handicap match. So shit. That means that one needs to be tagging in and one needs to be tagging out, Mike today says. Yeah, Wade Barrett says. Only Shrek keeps falling down and knocking folks down, and The Rock just came back now. And The Rock not happy. He just gave The Rock bottom, the stone bottom, to Sheamus O'Shaughnessy. Here it comes now. And now, here it is, Wade Barrett said, the most lighted hold in all of Glee. The Folk's Elbow. Well, it stopped being the Folk's Elbow and it never was the Folk's Elbow. Jonathan Coachman says, 1, 2, and oh, Shrek just hit The Rock to break up the two. And now The Rock slapped it down Shrek. But hey, that gave it. Sheamus O'Shaughnessy with the brogue kick, Jonathan Coachman says. Well, Sheamus O'Shaughnessy brings in Shrek now, who is a former two-time TWF Tag Team fighter in his own right. Shrek coming down now. Oh. And Shrek coming down and squashing down The Rock, Jonathan Coachman says. The Rock's going to get out of this. He's the folks fighter. He's the last head. He's the great one, Wade Barrett says. And he's the one getting smashed, Mike today says. So at the end of the day, I do not see him working out. 1, 2, and a kick out. And now Shrek's going to do it again. Shrek coming from the top seat. Wait a minute. Stone bottom. This match is over. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, The Rock. Well, The Rock has beat Shrek and Sheamus O'Shaughnessy here today on Power and Might, the handicap match, which was set up by the newly named main wicker of the Toy Wrestling Gathering. You know, Autolycus, the King of Thieves, because it was Sonya Deville and The Rock who worked together to put Theodore Long out. And now The Rock may have gotten by the handicap match, but I hardly doubt that he's going to get past, some of the other things, they're going to happen. Jonathan Coachman says. Well, you got that right. Mike today says The Rock may have won this fight, but he's still going to be handicapped for what him and Sonya Deville both did. Like I said, there is no truth to it, Wade Barrett says, that Sonya Deville did anything wrong. You saw that film, Jonathan Coachman says. Both Sonya Deville and The Rock were both speaking in that film together. They were both telling each other good work for taking out Theodore Long. So there's truth to that. Yeah, there's truth to that, Jonathan Coachman says. All of that did happen. And now we're going to take it away now to, to Bob Walk. Well, thank you, Jonathan Coachman and Mike today. I'm going to be talking with The Rock here today on Powerrr Might. Alright, Rock, as we all know, you and Sonya Deville were both guilty of beating up Theodore Long, which made Sonya Deville lose her rank as Underwicker of the Toy Wrestling Gathering. First off, Bob Walk, there isn't any truth to me doing that. We saw the film, Rock. We saw you and Sonya Deville both in that film, both doing and saying those things. So to say there's no truth to it, then you're just sliding, folks' wisdom. I'm not sliding anyone's wisdom, I didn't do it, and now I'm being unfairly handicapped by the new main wicker of the Toy Wrestling Gathering, Autolycus. And he put me in a ring with two folks I should have never been in a ring with, Shrek and Seamus O'Shaughnessy. But don't worry, if I was the one behind Theodore Long being taken out, I'd watch my back, Autolycus, the King of Thieves, because most likely you'll be the next being taken out. Well, that's my talk with The Rock, or Rocky Maivia, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, or whatever he wants to call himself these days, back to you, Jonathan Coachman, and Mike today. Well, thank you, Bob Walk, for talking with The Rock here today on Powerrr Might. And that's all the time we got here for Powerrr Might. I, Jonathan Coachman, with Mike today, and Wade Barrett. We hope you like Powerrr Might, and we'll see you tomorrow for Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Raw.